Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Speculate Strange Friends one-shots. It's so plural because we're doing several of them and because we're having a wacky, fun time today, because we're going to be playing a game called Slugblaster, which I had heard great things about for months, honestly, and I'm excited for us to try it out. And I'm just going to tweak my video a little bit so that a strange yellow bar disappears. Great. Hi, everybody. I am joined by some, but not all of the strange friends today. Our universes are being assaulted by difficulty and scheduling challenges. So as many of us are here today as can be, and we are looking forward to having fun with a new game to us. So thank you for joining us for this joint Speculate Arvin Elleron activity on the channel. Thank you to Greg for being a gracious host. Thank you to you for watching us either live on Twitch as we are broadcasting the recording we're making now, or if you're watching it later on. However you watch, that's great. And if you're listening on the podcast, we love you as well. You are all wonderful and great. Thank you for your time. I am going to ask my lovely strange friends to briefly introduce themselves. We're not going to talk about characters in Slugmaster just yet. Brief introductions, starting with Valerie.
Hello, friends. I am Valerie Valdes, the author of the Chilling Effect trilogy and the forthcoming Where Peace is Lost, a fun space fantasy for y'all to enjoy. I also stream on Twitch as The Kids Are Asleep.
Next is Iori.
Happy times then, everyone. Kusano. Oh, Iori, your favorite gremlin. I am back.
And Brandon.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Brandon O'Brien, poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago, one of the co-hosts of the Speculate podcast alongside Mike and our invisible friend Greg, and here to make a mess, I guess. This game has skateboards in it. I've never been on one, so I'm very intrigued to play a character who also struggles to figure out what that means.
Yep. I am Mike. I write as Michael R. Underwood. I am one of the co-hosts of Speculate, and I am going to be the Slugmaster for today's game, because that's what the game master or stage manager is called in this game, because it is a fun and wacky game. This is a Forged in the Dark type game. It is created by Mikey Hamm, and you can find more information about Slugblaster at wilkies.itch.io. We are using the kit for Slugblaster Turbo, which is a kind of condensed accelerated game, but you can also find the full Slugblaster game at wilkies.itch.io, and I'll make sure that we get that text into the chat and into our description so that we can send people to check out this cool game that Mikey made that we are going to try out and enjoy this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Iori, was there anything else you want to share with us today about things you do?
Oh, we're doing this, are we? Yes, okay. I have a book out Tuesday? I think that's how calendars work. It is called Hybrid Heart. It is cyberpunk. It is about idols. You can pre-order it now from Neon Hemlock, or you can wait till Tuesday and get it on various other retailers that I don't know much about, because I try not to know about the production end of things.
Totally fine. Okay, so today we are going to be playing Slugblaster, as I mentioned. This is a game about being adventurous teenagers in a multiverse, jumping between various dimensions with cool science fantasy hoverboards, doing sick tricks, and trying to become famous for doing awesome, brave, ridiculous things as adventurous teenagers. Slugblaster draws on a bunch of different kind of wild teen media that ranges across a bunch of different things. My main touchstones for this, I think, are going to be stuff like the cartoon Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts, which is a Netflix show that I really like, as well as kind of almost like something like the Marvel's Exiles, like multi-dimensional stuff, a bit of genre knots in there because why wouldn't I? And for tonight's adventure, you all are going to be a group of Slugbusters, which are Slugblasters, which is what kind of crews are called in this game, who have learned about a like a super fancy party that will be a great way to get a bunch of style and acclaim as a group of Slugblasters, because there is a kind of famous person in the world of Thrina, that is Athens 3, because it is a far future science fantasy version of Athens, which is like a couple of dimensions over in this kind of neighborhood of interdimensional travel. And so Dorus Kal is throwing a blowout party this Saturday night, and rumor has it that he's going to do a collab with whoever impresses him the most that night. And getting to do a collab with Dorus Kal is guaranteed to impress everybody at school, everybody at the various jobs or social functions that you may occupy, and would absolutely make probably most of your weeks, if not months, because Dorus Kal is that fancy. The other thing you need to know is that everybody loves greedy Zzkaska's pizza. And so people are commissioning Slugblasters to deliver the supreme Horde meal deal from Zzkaska's across various dimensions. Zzkaska's exists in the dimension known as Polygon. Fortunately, Polygon is only one dimension over from your dimension, which resembles greatly Earth in the late 1990s to the early 2000s, except then there's preposterous dimension jumping technology, as well as other things that come along with being a Slugblaster. So that is a bit of introduction, and now let's meet our characters. The playbooks in Slugblaster are kind of based off of archetypes of cool teens, and we're going to get to that after we do one more declamation.
Yes, as I have forgotten to tell everyone. Thank you all for reminding me. I am a wizard of the coast, and FTC and company regulations obligate me to tell you this. I am a wizard, but I'm not working on any of the projects you've heard of, so don't at me.
Cool. So with that sorted, we are going to talk a little bit about our characters. And because we are all playing Slugblaster for the first time, we are going to be learning as we go. We're using the Slugblaster Turbo Kit, which has this great kind of play sheet in Google Sheets. I'm going to take us over to our overlay that highlights this. And let's go over to the Chill. Valerie, can you tell us about your character?
Yes. So my character is the Chill. I am playing Leah Moreno, and she, her pronouns. She has a really chill family, which explains partly why she is so chill. And we are marginalized, which is you can see on the sheet, assuming that everyone's looking at the thing, that you basically pick two different things you use to describe your family, and so that is what my sheet has, relaxed and marginalized. And so we are sort of a working class Hispanic family, and the bond that I have is a shared experience with the guts, which is, you will find out more about the guts later, but I was the person who found the guts. And so that is my shared experience bond. The aesthetic that my character has, just woke up, so it looks like she always just rolled out of bed. Oversized, but ripped, relaxed, and carries around a portable speaker because, you got to have your music with you wherever you go. Board is a long board that's stickered covered, and the ray gun is a worn-in photon pistol. It's probably a hand-me-down from an older sibling because that's how you roll. The other gear that she has, phone, hacking tools, repair tools, and a void wear backpack, which is really cool because it can theoretically store anything.
Yeah.
All the things.
And so every character in Slugblaster has a signature weapon, which is a piece of like especially cool technology that will let them get bonuses. Sometimes those are bonus dice. Sometimes they are extra effect, is the term we would use if we were playing another Forged in the Dark game. In this game, it is a boost and turbo. Boost is an extra die. Turbo is the equivalent of extra effect. And each character is going to have one of these signature items. So that is that. Let us go now to the smarts. Brandon, you are muted.
I realized that immediately. So I am playing Teddy Goodwin. Pronounced they, them. Don't ever call Teddy by their whole name because they will be very, very mad at you. Teddy is from a very strict and very boring family, the kind of very strict and very boring family that typically makes someone an overachiever in the intellectual department in the first place, and has actually discovered that they hate it and would like to do something more radical with their life than just read and ace exams all the time. So that's why they picked up slugblasting. Their aesthetic is androgynous, muted, and with lots of brand new stuff. Because the other benefit of being in a strict and boring family is once you're doing well, your parents will just buy you cool shit. Which is why my board is a new hologram board. I have a circuit bent zero beam ray gun. My phone is better than your phone. I have a space-time ampimeter, so I can always tell where the thin space between universes are. I have my own copy of all of the multiversal maps, and I have brand new Rift Ninja sneakers, so I can literally phase through solid objects.
Sweet. And last but not least, the guts.
Yes. Party size is a oversized sentient mantis from a very nearby dimension whom the team picked up during one of their sessions.
All right.
Party size was named by Leah because this is a party-sized mantis. This is not a single-serving mantis.
Very cool. And anything else we should know about your character in terms of bonds, aesthetic, board, or anything else?
The team has brought party size back to the primary Earth and is hiding it from their parents while also merchandising. Party Size's own family is metaterrestrial and big. They are just one of many, many, many eggs.
Got it.
They are flashy. They have an iridescent carapace and huge eyes. They have found out that they really love Earth caffeine and Earth clothing. They're usually wearing a baseball cap. Both their board and ray gun are secondhand and items that are handed down from Teddy. Because Teddy got something new. And also, they grew out of this board ages ago because it's sized for a child.
Got it. Perfect.
Their ray gun is a Hellwave. Additionally, they are carrying a phone, also secondhand, a huge pack of stickers and can badges, all of which have their own face on them.
Beautiful.
And a grappling hook.
So is that grappling hook is that attached to your ray gun, or is it a separate thing?
Separate thing attached to a funny little belt.
Awesome. Cool. And what is your signature item?
See.
So it should be in the black with gray box, scrolling down from your family bond aesthetic section.
Black with gray box.
In the same column, so like the bottom left of the sheet. The one I see right now is Gravity Beam, but you can click a drop-down menu and select one of the other ones.
Oh, that's the thing it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if you want to switch out to one of the other ones, that is totally cool. We'll just, when the mission starts, we'll want everybody to be solid on their pick.
Okay.
So while party size is deciding temporally what signature item it has, I'll talk a little bit about how the game works. In Slugblaster, you always have one die that you roll when you are met with an obstacle, and there's a question of whether you're going to succeed. You can boost your roll if you have an available boost in basically on your playbook list under attitude or in your signature item, and each die symbol on your sheet is one boost that you can use, and each lightning bolt circle is a kick that you can add, and a kick will mean that your action has a greater impact. So if a character was going to say like, okay, well, I used the ray gun on the Math Panther to knock it out, I'd say, look, Math Panthers are pretty tough. I don't know that one hit is going to take them out. And then a player might say, oh, well, I'm going to use a turbo from my photonic jacket as the jacket flashes lights. And so I'm shooting the Math Panther and kind of dazing it with the lights. And I go, oh, okay, yeah. So if that works, that greater effect means that the Math Panther will kind of get chased off. And these are things that you decide before you roll. And you can also use boosts and turbos for other characters. So if you wanted to help somebody, you can spend one of your boosts or kicks for them, and we figure out how it is that you're supporting the action that they're taking. We're going to try to use the dice roller in these sheets. This is over on the right hand underneath your style track. And there's a drop down where you say how many dice you're going to roll, and then it will give you the roll results and tell you what type of outcome it is. This is the same range where if your highest result is a 1, 2, or 3, that is a complication without success. A 4 or a 5 is a success and a complication. And if your highest is a 6, it is just a success with no complication. If you are rolling multiple dice and get multiple 6s, that's a crit, and you succeed with style and maybe even with a free turbo for greater effect. In terms of other stuff on the character sheets, there is kind of a summary of basic how to play, action rolls, adding dice, things like that on every playbook sheet. And then each playbook has specific abilities. So here on the guts, there's look cool, do something in a bold, stylish way, tell the GM then roll your action like normal, show off, and attitude guts. So each playbook is going to have a couple of things that are specific and distinct in this right-hand section. And then I believe each attitude has its own set of what boosts and turbo you get. I'm going to take over to the chill real quick because the chill has this very special attitude. The chill always rolls with +1 dice. Things tend to work out. So for Leah, that you always roll 1 die rule gets modified. So Leah's always going to roll 2 dice to start without having to spend other boosts. But the attitude does not then have a separate pool of boosts and kicks. And so there's a trade-off there.
Yeah, the cool thing for the chill is so they also all have kind of different bonuses and things that they can do. So like the guts has show off, the smarts has lateral thinking. So the chill has effortless cool. And so the reason the chill always gets a bonus die is because I get to mark one style anytime I roll doubles. And so having that bonus die intrinsic to the character, it
Right.
just kind of ups the odds of rolling doubles.
Yeah. And so style is that is the kind of fame, clout, social currency that you all are trying to accrue as Slugblasters. And then the other track for characters is trouble. Trouble is like, what if stress was only bad? The more trouble you accumulate, the greater the chance that there's going to be some kind of disaster that will manifest either at the end of the mission or somewhere along the way in the mission. So one of the things that I might inflict on with a consequence is giving a character trouble. Unlike other Forged games, resistance works differently here. If you don't like a problem, so if I introduce a consequence or I give you trouble, you can say nope and describe how you avoided it instead. Using nope to not take trouble is probably a bad idea because you're going to take 2 trouble for that, which is part of the way in which it's like stress. So you're more likely to use nope if you're going to take a slam, which is kind of like some type of harm. So a slam might be you get stunned, and so that's going to impact your rolls for a while. You might say, no, I don't want to get stunned, and then you're going to take, we describe it, you'll take some trouble. If you fill up your trouble track, that basically guarantees that I'm going to unleash some big trouble on you. But as you're playing, you're going to want to try to accumulate style because that's like the scoreboard. You were playing for points. In something like Blades in the Dark, you're trying to get rep and coin. Here, it's all about style. So that is a bit of an overview. Iori, have you selected a signature item?
I am muted. Okay. I have chosen the photonic jacket because this can display patterns. And part of the way that my friends have been able to take me around Earth is by making me do camouflages.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. So each of these items is going to give the characters another pool of boosts and turbo, and then each of them has like a special fictional capability or set of abilities that they have. And so players, you're going to want to keep those in mind, as well as the special stuff from your playbook and any descriptions on your ray gun and board and things like that. So every Slugblaster has a board that is like, basically this is a hoverboard like Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2. It can get up to like 10-15 feet of air with a proper ramp and lead up, but it's not going to like fly 10 feet above the ground. And then your ray gun is kind of the traditional sidearm of the Slugblaster, traveling interdimensionally. By default, it is set to stun because this is a teen adventure, and we're probably not going to have much in the way of killing. Does anybody have any questions about rules stuff or the universe or your sheet? Okay. So I think with that, we can begin. I would say because of the description that we have in terms of the Slugblasters finding party size and having already done some stuff, and for the sake of the characters having existing bonds, I would say that your group has probably been Slugblasting together as this trio for at least a couple of months. And you've pulled a few different jobs, but nothing that's like especially big. And so when on a Thursday, somebody hears about Dorus Kal's party, it's only obvious that the team can take a run at trying to be the ones who get to deliver the Supreme Horde meal to Dorus Kal. Here's some stuff that makes the Zzkaska's pizza a little bit tricky. They open at a random time every night because they need to keep things interesting. Also, time is a little wobbly between different dimensions. It doesn't quite totally always line up. So, you might jump through a portal and it's noon in Polygon, and then you end up in Gigazoo and it's the middle of the night. And so that can be a little tricky. you know that the route from Earth to Athrena, the city where Dorus Kal is throwing his party, is 3 jumps away. You have to go from Earth to Polygon, from Polygon to Gigazoo, and then from Gigazoo to Athrena. And that means that you're going to need to get to Greedy Zzkaskas in time to pick up an order for the party and then jump through the different portals. Thing is, you know that there's going to be other Slugblaster teams trying to pull this off. The first team that delivers, this set of Supreme Horde meal deals to the party is going to be the ones who are going to get all of the style. So you're going to have to deal with normal dimensional adventure stuff and at least one other team. So we probably don't want to spend too much time on planning, but I'm curious how this trio of characters are feeling about this adventure, and maybe give us a little montage of some kind of preparation that you've made, if you would like. How's everybody feeling about this?
I think it stands to reason that one of the best ways to prepare for a trip like this in particular is to refer to my maps and see if I can actually predict or otherwise calculate the time that they're gonna open.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you can definitely give me a roll for that. Do you have anything that applies for this type of roll? And do you want to spend any boosts or turbo?
I mean, I do have my multiversal maps, so I think that they obviously do count. And I feel like that and my own smarts I should be able to argue that because we've made this trip before or observed other people making this trip before, it should be theoretically likely to create a fairly robust calculation pattern that should be able to tell us within a realm of certainty how around what time they would open in their own local time zone, and then figure out the actual traversal time afterward.
Cool. So your attitude ability lets you add dice or kick as needed, and if the action fails, you regain what you spent. Do you want to spend any for this roll?
Definitely want to spend kick.
Okay.
So I have.
So yeah, if this succeeds, you will get you'll get a more precise prediction on how the timeline is going to line up. But I think that means that you're going to be rolling 1 die. Okay. If you click on that box next to roll 1, it should do the thing.
Ooh. I rolled a 6.
Was this not? Oh, interesting. I thought there was a lateral bar that would let me slide this around, and there absolutely is not on this. Where is my bar? Let me slide this around. So I will ask that everyone just call out your dice results. Luckily, a 6 is a success and no consequence. So looking at the multiversal maps and going back through the social feeds of here's somebody live streaming from Polygon. Hey, Greedy Zzkaskas just opened, and you note the time, and we get a little montage there. And you are pretty certain that within, a margin of error of 2 degrees interpreted under Polygon's Planck's constant as being representative of plus or minus 5 minutes. They should open at 9:45 on Saturday night.
And what time is it right now?
You all can leave to go to the portal to get to Polygon. I would say anytime Saturday afternoon, depending on your chores and other obligations that you might have. So where do we see this trio as they are standing in front of the portal to Polygon? Where do you think the portal is? Is this out by the old abandoned Pizza Hut? Is it behind a skate park?
It is, unfortunately, in the dumpster behind the Ralph's, which closed down 3 weeks ago.
Well, that's a big
The only
bummer.
saving grace is that the trash has been picked up.
That's a big bummer for the Ralphs. I bet they should have been doing great business being right by a portal.
Unfortunately, what that
think.
meant was it was constantly just totally slammed with teenagers. And so nobody else ever wanted to shop there anymore because they were really sick of it.
Right. And who would
They
want to
did
work
a booming business in Lunchables and basically nothing else.
Well, that's a bummer for the Ralphs. Yeah, so I think there are locations, right? Because we know from Teddy's gear that you can observe places where the thread or the veil between dimensions is limited, and then use. What do you think Slugblasters use to open portals? Is this something that goes with the ray gun or the board or something else?
I feel like the board, and I think it's probably like a per person thing.
Oh,
I think
okay.
mine is an old garage clicker.
Okay. Very cool. So what is, I think we have a little bit of everybody's aesthetic, but if anybody wants to describe your outfit for the evening, far be it from me from standing in the way of letting Slugblasters show off their style.
I am wearing what like is fashioned in the style of like an old Spanish military coat. But it's all navy blue, and the collars are so high and so stiff that if I pop them, they literally will cover the bottom half of my face. So that's what I do. I have a pair of black fingerless gloves. My trousers are also navy blue, and I just put like another very cool holographic sticker on my Rift Ninja sneakers.
Awesome.
The sticker actually very comically reads, I was here when Ralph's died.
Very cool. Party size or Leah? What's your look tonight?
Go ahead, Valerie.
Okay, so Leah is definitely wearing a really loose, like it's a t-shirt with a pin up of a like a really cute witch flying on a broom or on a witch is on a skateboard. So really cute witch, pin-up witch on a skateboard, skirts blown up, baggy ripped jeans, and the in-universe equivalent of Vans.
Very nice. Right. It's like because we can only display certain brands, it's like stands.
Yeah, and it's also like they came from a thrift store. They're not new. They're scuffed. They're patched. Like she makes her own patches to the extent that that's possible, and sews them on to fix stuff. And
that's cool.
You do what you can.
Party Size is wearing their photonic jacket, and do you remember windbreaker sets from the 90s?
Windbreaker sets? I don't. Tell me about that.
Yes, with a lot of windbreakers used to be sold with horrible matching pants that also made the terrible noise that windbreakers make.
Right.
Oh my gosh, and
Party
the colors.
Size has acquired a terrible neon fuchsia set of pants that make an awful lot of noise. They have appliqued fake Nike swooshes onto the knees.
Very cool.
And also they're wearing a baseball cap. Party Size still isn't entirely sure what baseball is, but people seem to react really, really strongly to this hat, and that's funny.
All right. I'm thinking about, like, is there a interdimensional baseball league? And
Absolutely.
if so, like, what
Phaseball. It's like Blaseball, but phaseball.
Very nice. Does Party Size know what the name of the team that their hat represents? Or is that a secret we will discover in time?
Let's keep that a secret for now.
Okay. So yeah, the portal's right there. I don't think you don't have to roll to open the portal, but I will probably be calling for a roll shortly once you get into Polygon. Polygon is a dimension where everything is 3D CG, but not current 3D CG. Everything is 1990s Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Homer goes into 3D graphics land, 3D CG.
Oh my god, we just walked into FF7. What?
Yeah. And so a big thing about the pizzas from Greedy Zzkaskas is sometimes they stay in their form from Polygon, and if you can keep the pizza fresh enough that it's still in Polygon form, that's going to be worth more style. And so as the three of you step through into Polygon, you can regard yourself in your 3D CG fashion. I would imagine that all of you have probably been through Polygon before. And so out beyond you, it's kind of like if you imagine a math textbook from approximately the same time, where there's like, here's a cone and here's a sphere and there's like the gradation shading, the whole ground, as far as you can see in every direction, is just like black grid with pale orange, or like is black floor with pale orange grid on it, and then there are various geographic and building features on top of it. Also, there is a gigantic cone right there, and it's rolling your way, so you're probably going to want to do something about that.
Yo, no, that's not cool, man. All right, so definitely going to so if it's a cone, I'm assuming that is one end off of the ground. Like, how is the cone rolling?
So the cone, you notice, is rolling, kind of sweeping toward you like it is a hand on a clock, because it is flush with the ground. So there's the small point that is far away from you, and then you can see that the cone is pivoting around that point and is going to sweep and roll right over you.
Okay, so in that case, Leah's gonna aim for the narrow part of the cone, like the tip of the cone, and just try to kind of like slide up the side as it comes toward her, and then head over the other end, basically.
Okay, so you're gonna surf it like a wave?
Yeah.
Sick. So
all right.
let
me roll for that, I guess.
Yeah, in Core Slugblaster, there's basically a Devil's Bargain equivalent where you can get a free boost by basically stunting, but it is a bigger consequence if you get a consequence.
Oh,
so
no.
You get a bonus and you get style if you succeed, but the consequences are bigger. So do you want to stunt here?
I'm not going to stunt yet. We're going to hold off. We'll stunt at a more dramatically serious time.
Okay.
So instead, I will simply roll. And again, because I have my attitude is chill, I always roll plus 1d. So I've got 2 dice. Do I get any bonuses for anything? I assume not.
So you can take boosts from your signature item, or someone else could give you a boost it sounds like Leah is just jumping over this herself. That would mean that the others are going to need to they're going to need to deal with this challenge on their own.
I think that's probably how it's going to be. So here we go.
Okay.
Roll in 2d6. That is a 1 and a 6. Wow.
Okay. Interestingly, the dice results that show up for me are different than the ones that show up for you. So it's like it's rolling for each person that can see it. So definitely do keep telling me the dice results that you get.
Oh yeah, wow. That I did not know
alarming.
that. But that is yeah, that's wild. But okay, good to know.
I may be misreading it because this is the first day that I'm using this sheet. But yeah, on a 6, you line it up. You calculate the angle just right, or maybe you just do it on instinct, and you you float up as the thing is rolling. And so it's a little bit wobbly because it's moving fast enough that your board is having to adjust, but you hang on to it. You get a decent bit of air. And as you go over, you can hear just the faint sound of crackling in the distance, but we'll get back to that.
How big is this cone again?
The base, where it is the widest, is about 20 feet, a 20-foot diameter.
Oh. I would like to kickflip off it and race parallel to it. And because I am the guts, I have the trait show off, which gives me plus 1d6 when I do a trick.
Okay, very cool. So that would mean that you're going to be at, so I think the thing with a trick is actually just that you get the bonus style rather than getting a bonus die, which then makes the guts thing make sense. Mm-hmm. So that would mean that you're going to have two dice. Do you want to throw any turbo on this? You're already going to get greater effect because of a stunt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I got a 6 and a 1.
Very cool. So yeah, Leah kind of throws down her board and goes over. Party size, describe your sick trick.
Iori's never skateboarded. I only know theoretically what a kickflip is from listening to other podcasts.
Yeah, if it's a kickflip, that's cool. I think a kickflip is you spin the board around and then you land on it. Which is cool. Yes. So you should.
You know what? Party size puts a little extra juice on that. While the board is spinning and party size in the air, it does a front flip.
Awesome. So mark 1 style on your style track for a successful stunt. Okay. Teddy, you're either going to get left behind or squished under a gigantic cone unless you do something. What do you do?
So my sneakers allow me to roll to face through walls and other matter, or allow matter to pass through me harmlessly. So I'm just gonna let it, hopefully, just kind of pass through me and keep going.
Okay, cool. So you get the 1 die there. Do you want to add anything to that?
Since I am using the sneakers, I am going to just add 1 die.
Okay. So that's going to be a roll with 2 dice.
I got a 6 and a 4.
Awesome. So yeah, your companions, they're looking cool, but they had to work a lot more. What does it take to activate this on the sneakers? Is there like a pump up button type thing or something else?
It's designed to be able to activate intangibility while still on the move. So
cool.
imagine that there is a recess in the heel on the furthest outward side of the heel that you just step on, and it just kind of briefly makes you intangible. So I just kind of lean back and just kind of let it just kind of whoosh through me.
Yeah, and what does it feel like when stuff moves through you? Like, do you feel anything, or?
Oh, it actually kind of sucks. Being intangible means that I can't maintain the inhalation of oxygen. I can't do this for long periods of time.
Okay. Yeah.
So it does feel like something was briefly poking me in the lungs, and then it just left.
All right. So the cone sweeps through you. It feels bad, but now it is past you. And Teddy, you know from your maps that the path to Zzkaskas takes you off kind of to the left and down that set of rolling hills. So you're not going to have to deal with the cone again. However, I mentioned earlier for Leah that she heard like a distant buzzing. The buzzing gets closer, and then it changes to wee-oh, 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 and you realize that there is a modem banshee coming. So modem banshees are kind of creatures that are emergent from Polygon, and if they get close enough, they will basically pull you into the fabric of Polygon itself, because the modem banshee, her call is a representation of the connection between Polygon and the other dimensions. So you're probably going to want to take cover or do something about that kind of electronic screeching that's coming toward you.
All right. Are there places to take cover nearby or no?
I would say that there are, but how good of cover it is, that's going to be something that probably takes a roll to figure out.
Alternately, I could shoot it with my pew-pew gun, but that also seems a little funky. The other thing that I have, so this is a modem thing. All right, so I'm going to sell you something.
Okay.
Let's see if you buy it. I have a portable speaker.
Uh-huh.
It's just a thing that I'm always wearing because it's a cool thing to have. Do I maybe have like the right track to just throw on that will somehow cancel out the noise this thing is making and therefore basically disconnect it? Like in the old days when you used to call somebody and then it would disconnect their modem because caller ID.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds cool to me, honestly. I don't remember the actual rule for flashbacks, but I'm going to say if you mark one trouble, the equivalent of one stress, then we can just say that you have the right, basically, counter song.
Yeah, because I would have expected this sort of thing to happen potentially in this particular dimension.
Yeah,
so.
you knew absolutely that you're going to have to travel through Polygon.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would have queued it up on my not iPod.
Okay. Is this like because we're in like a wobbly anachronistic technology world, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, is this like a, spin wheel iPod? Is it like an iPod mini? Is it something else?
Yeah, let's say it's kind of like an iPod mini because yeah, it's not fancy enough to have a really cool screen. And so it's just, I got to listen to it. I got to know what the sound is of it and then put it on my speakers.
Okay.
All
Very
right.
cool.
I'm going to roll for it or no?
Yeah, I would say the roll, I think you're going to have a greater, you're going to basically get a free turbo here because you have something else that is protecting you. But if you want to find either a place to hide or a path through, I think that'll take a roll.
I think that probably it like she believes in the ability of this thing to protect her from this critter, and it's like either it will drive it away from her like a sonic shield, or it will cancel it out like some sort of wave sign function thing.
Okay.
So she's just gonna keep rolling, man.
Cool.
Cool.
In that case, I will have you make a trouble roll.
Okay.
So you're going to roll 1d6. If you get a 1, there will be trouble. Otherwise, you'll be fine.
Okay. And then do I get my bonus attitude chill die for this as well? Or no?
I think trouble rolls are separate.
Okay. So 1 dice instead of 2 dice.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. It's a 2. Failing. There's a problem.
So on a trouble roll, all you need to do is get
Not
higher
roll a
than
1?
your current amount of trouble.
Oh,
so you
okay.
have
And I
one-
have 1, so I am higher, so I'm good.
Yep. And so we get the kind of the counter song playing. Is this like what does it sound or feel like? That's kind of counter.
I think it actually would be funny if it just sounds like a call coming in, like just like the boop, boop kind of thing that caller ID would be disrupting,
Okay.
basically. So the equivalent of that, like, oh no, I got kicked off the internet because a call came in.
Yeah, and so that plays, and in the distance you see this kind of slightly pixelated, like GameCube era, or actually more like Sega Dreamcast era technology, like visuals. Banshee with kind of like too static hair because the hair isn't animated well enough, but it's kind of like big and poofy, and it's just like soaring through the air toward you. And then when it hears that kind of that call music, it kind of veers off and goes a different direction because obviously there's nobody here anymore. And you are temporarily out of danger, and I think we can take a moment here to chat if you want, but then we'll probably skip forward a little bit. You're doing great so far.
That was rad as hell.
Yeah, whoa, where did that cone even come from?
Well, a lot of the geography of this place is just naturally hostile. It just kind of likes making shapes and sending them places.
It's wild.
I want to grind off the edge of a rhombus.
I think you can probably find an immobile rhombus in a polygon forest. There's like a small grove that's just to the west before you get to greedy Zzkaskas. So it won't take too much time.
Nah, I want garlic knots more than I want to grind off a rhombus.
Okay.
Oh, garlic knots, so good.
All
For
right.
glory
Party
and
size
garlic knots.
did have like the good sense to call in an order for the team before they were on their way.
Mm-hmm.
But party size doesn't have any human money, so one of you is paying.
It's probably me.
Okay. So I think we will cut forward to like a long shot of greedy Zzkaskas, which looks a little bit like what if you took like a pizza planet, made it more like an arcade, but then had it depicted in video game graphics a la the old Earthworm Jim video games. And so it's atop this hill. It's got different lights that it's like, kind of spotlights that it's shooting up into the sky. And there is, there's mesh core music playing all the time because like that's just the vibe at Greedy Zzkaskas. And there's already a few people around, but these folks don't actually look like Slugblasters. These are locals. You've got some square folks over here. There's a triangle biker gang over there. It hasn't really picked up just yet. And you see that the lights are on, but the takeout window is not open yet.
That's cool. We could stand in line or whatever.
Sit-down service is not available either, is it?
I mean, it is, but that would be a great way to get behind in the race to Dorus Kal's party.
Okay, so it would not actually be time efficient to just order the stuff as a sit-down and then box it ourselves.
No, based on previous experience, if the order that you placed ahead of time gets recognized, then you're in good. Otherwise, you're just going to need to walk up. One of the things that's weird about time with Zzkaskas here is that like online ordering is very iffy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, line it is, I guess.
Yep. And as you kind of walk down a hill, realizing that the grade is actually steeper than you imagine because the lines get closer together, like a topographical map. Off to the side, you realize that there is another crew incoming. And because you can see Finale. And my question is, Is Finale the character that's a rival? Finale being a dancer / singer who wants to become a superstar, or is it somebody else in the Two Hive crew?
I think it has to be Finale.
Okay.
It's like this description sounds like too popular for me and too stuck up for Leah.
She's just
in a way
so
that both of
obsessed
us
with
just uniquely
clicks,
hate.
Like, why though? Just go with it. You know, you don't have to try so hard to be viral all the time. Just let it happen.
Yeah, and the thing with Finale is that Finale, because we're in anachronism land, I think all teenage jargon across several decades is used at the same time. So you might call Finale either a poser or a tryhard.
Yeah.
But
¿Por qué no los dos? Like,
yeah, and so Finale is there along with Ali Ollie, who is the Two Hive crew's like techie type, and then of course they are led by Frenchie, who is actually Canadian.
But is Frenchie French Canadian?
Yes, it's not that weird. And so Frenchie is kind of the straight man for the group, but of course he's gay, which he makes as much fun of as possible. He is your kind of square-jawed, broad-shouldered, like Boy Scout type, and does his best to look out for the others. Ali Ollie is kind of always has like a vest with a bunch of pockets for wrenches and tape and everything, and has like the kind of quote unquote Russian like fuzzy hat, but the logo that is on it is a math panther, which is a creature from another couple dimensions over. And then Finale tonight is wearing a bodysuit with a bunch of purple sequins on it, and then a fascinator with a smaller fascinator on top of it.
oh, so extra.
And so
Why?
Finale sees you. They are a little bit closer, and then they start running.
Yo, what? No. No way. Trying to get in front of us.
Mm-hmm. They are going to get there first unless you do something.
I want to do a collection of silly things.
Okay, start talking.
Are we theoretically uphill or downhill?
You are still a bit uphill from the pizza place, and the Two Hive crew they are up a slightly smaller hill, but because they started running first, they have a little bit of a lead on you right now. And they are just straight up running rather than using their boards.
Cool. And I presume that there is still a lot of very solid objects in between us as well.
Yeah, this part is much more like a actual street and kind of with a settlement, so it's less kind of wild rolling shapes and more like video gamey, slightly pixelated, manhole and cars and buildings.
Cool.
Hey, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
A mantis has wings. Can I use those to make myself go faster on my board?
Oh, cool.
Can I just propeller myself the rest of the way up this hill at top speed?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something you can roll for.
Can we do assists in this game? I don't remember.
Yeah. So what that would mean is that you could spend some of your boosts for somebody else's roll. We just talk about how it is that you're helping.
Okay, here's what I would like to do. See if this sounds cool. I'm gonna grab party size and do like a spin. So it's basically like I'm gonna like discus,
Yes.
and then so with the combo of the wings, should
I
make
love
party
this.
size go
Okay.
real fast.
Yeah, so Leah, if you spend one of your boosts, you can definitely give a bonus there. So that's probably going to be off of your backpack.
Yeah. Is that the die or the lightning?
Dice are boost and lightning is turbo.
I would also like to assist.
Okay. So avoidware backpack, I'm just looking at extra contents. Oh, you can make stuff smaller and you can roll to pull a unique item. So I would say maybe you can just have a unique item that only applies to this thing, unless you have another idea of how the backpack helps, Valerie.
Yeah, I mean, if it has to use the item, then yeah, I guess I can't do the trick because I'm not sure how that would work with my backpack. I don't know. Maybe maybe there's like a strap kind of thing, like a dog toy, you know, the rope toys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll pull that out of my backpack.
Cool. Okay.
Like, here, grab it, and then we're gonna spin you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how is Teddy helping?
So essentially, I am using my smarts to calculate exactly the moment at which angle Leah should let go of party size.
Mm-hmm.
And while that's happening, I remind party size, and don't forget your grappling hook.
Yes. When I am in grappling distance oriented towards the restaurant, I will fire the grappling hook off my belt to drag me even faster and just like juice it with a little more speed.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Teddy, you can spend boosts or turbo if you like, and then party size, you can of course spend your own.
Yeah, sure. I'll throw a boost on here.
Okay.
How many troubles does that give me? One?
So if you're spending boosts off of your either your attitude or your signature item, there is no cost in trouble.
Okay, then it's going to be coming off attitude.
Okay. And then Teddy, what are you assisting with?
I gave one boost.
One boost. Okay.
From my attitude.
So I think that is one boost each from your buddies. So you're going to be at +2 dice, and then whatever you're doing for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Does this count as a trick because it is just such an outrageous thing to be doing on my board?
It sure seems like it could be.
It seems like a newly developed trick because who else in here got wings right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means I get to name it. So that brings me up to what, a total of 4?
I think it would, yeah. And if you succeed, you'll get basically one turbo worth of extra effect and a style point if you succeed. With 4 dice, I sure hope so.
5, 5, 3, 3.
Okay, so on a 5, you do it, but there is a greater consequence. And so what I think that means is that you're going to get there first, but you're going to take the slam dizzied.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be dizzied for at least the rest of this scene. And
okay,
I am going to go over
I love it. Where do I mark that?
I don't know that that this sheet has a place for slams.
Yeah, so, I don't think so.
So let's see. Can I just do? No.
I am just writing it down with my physical human hands.
Yeah, just keep track that you're dizzied for the scene. And because this was a stunt, you should mark one style. And I think the other consequence is that I'm going to start a progress track that is. So in this game, they recommend using, instead of clocks, basically you do the version of playing horse. So you know, there could be a consequence clock that is ouch. And so you do, okay, O-U-C-H, and then you'd mark out O as the first one.
Okay, cool.
And so
I love that. That's very cute.
what I think I'm going to do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start a clock that is, payback is too many letters. So I'm just going to have it be called burn, as in this other team is going to burn you. And I'm going to X out the letter B. So 3 more consequences, and they're going to basically get some kind of leg up on you. This is something that you could nope, but it would require marking 2 trouble on your sheet in exchange for blocking that first letter.
Yeah, I'm saving my trouble for later.
Okay. So yeah, party size, you get the kind of the swinging ball thing. You get some recommendations on your vector and your angle. Are you saying anything as you kind of fly up, whisking forward on your grappling hook to be the first person to get in line as the carry out order window is being kind of slammed up by a teenage clerk?
Watch this. This is going to be fucking legendary.
And so you're zipping forward, and Finale and the others kind of lean forward and start running faster to try to beat you there. But you are, in fact, land with style on the kind of shelf that extends out from the takeout area where they would, in fact, put your order. And the clerk, who has like a cool, curly, swoopy, red hair undercut, and is kind of wearing the greedy Zzkaska's uniform like it is like a casually must suit. And they say, "Hey, what's up?"
Party size, having stuck the landing, poses very dramatically, wings out.
Cool.
Just like the fluorescents are just shining off their iridescent carapace.
And so the clerk pulls out their phone and be like, "Can I get a picture? That's sick as shit."
Hell yeah.
So they take a picture and then ask for a social tag.
Yes.
So they
Party size gives them the crew hashtag.
Awesome.
Dismounts the counter, gives the clerk a sticker and a can badge, both of which have Party size's face and finger guns.
Awesome. Go ahead and mark an extra style for that, because that's very cool.
And while I'm fapping about being social, does this give the team time to catch up to me?
Yes. So the others are able to kind of come and join you. The 2 Hive crew is in line, but they're not going to be so gauche as to try to get in Teddy and Leah's way. You've won the first round, you might imagine Finale saying. And in fact, Leah, as you're walking over, you hear Finale practicing that line really, really softly, as if she's just getting ready to bust it out.
Leah goes, "Hey, Frenchie, what's up?" Just cut Finale off.
"Hi, Leah. How are you doing?"
"I'm so good. I totally made those muffins you gave me the recipe for, the veggie ones. Sick."
"Oh, that's great." Yeah, I've been experimenting with a carrot cake, and I think the secret is ginger.
Hook me up, man. That would be amazing.
I could get some tips from my mom and tell you if you want.
"Oh, that would be so great." And then Finale kind of pushes Frenchie aside and being like, "You may have won this battle." And then here's where I'm going to ask, what is the name of your team? What's the name of your crew?
What is the name of our crew?
Because that's the next word that Frenchie is going to use.
Oh.
If you don't have the name, we can have an opportune honk right here and reveal the crew's name later.
Yes.
Okay. You may have won the first battle, honk, but the war is not over, and I know the secret to free pepperoni.
I lean away from Finale to continue talking to Frenchie and say, so I'll talk to my mom and I'll write some stuff down and I'll let you know, yeah?
And Frenchie, because he's behind Finale, is like gives you a big thumbs up, and then kind of goes back to standing at attention as Finale is slightly seething.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Finale,
the biggest possible wingtip eyeliner.
Your eyes are looking pretty pointy today. You okay?
And she kind of like strikes a pose so that the light hits just, and then all the lines are perfect. I have to be ready to speak with Dorus Kal when we get there first with our Horde.
All right, cool, sure. So pizza time, hey.
So we cut back to party size, and you're able to place the order, but then somebody has to provide the money. I'm guessing that's Teddy based on the earlier conversation.
So I run up to the counter and I take out a sheet of graph paper, and then I take out my wallet, which is like tied to my military coat with a wallet chain. I just like take out a handful of bills and just throw it, and then I just hold out this sheet of graph paper and go, do you know what an Einstein tile is?
To the clerk?
Yeah.
No, elucidate me.
So then I proceed to show on this sheet of graph paper a hand-drawn simulation of a singular polygonal tile that can create a pattern of itself in an object fully randomly. And I go, can you make a large Hawaiian sliced like this?
So I think I'm going to ask for a roll that is you explaining how this thing works so that the clerk can pass it on to the chef.
And I'm definitely spending one boost and one kick for this. Okay. So I'll be rolling 2 dice at extra effect.
All right.
Ooh, a 6 and a 1.
Okay, so yeah, on a 6, you are gonna that is gonna succeed. And what I'm gonna say is that you're gonna get I'm just gonna go ahead and give you 1 style, and part of what that represents is that pizza is just gonna look cool, period. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have more time before it loses its kind of polygon freshness, but you'll then get more style if you do get to deliver it, because it's going to stand out as a particularly cool order. You're not just getting them a normal Supreme Horde meal deal. You're also delivering other things. You can also order food for yourselves on the if you like, so you have a snack on your way to Gigazoo.
Garlic knots.
Garlic
Hell
knots.
yes, we're getting our garlic knots. I think those should be what cure my dizzied condition.
Yeah, I think you have to wait for 15-20 minutes for the order to be cooked and boxed up. By that time, the 2 Hive crew has also placed their order, so they're going to be just a couple of minutes behind you. And based on the time, I'm going to say that I think it probably makes sense for us to take a break just as you step into Gigazoo, unless anybody has something they want to do at Greedy Zzkaskas.
I just wanted to say that the stuff that I order for the rest of the crew is specifically 3 big gulps of a
Yes.
lemon lime
Thank you.
soda that never stops fizzing, and enough garlic nuts to feed the entirety of the French Foreign Legion.
Sweet.
I love
Okay, it's
this.
like a surge equivalent.
Mm.
It's
Sleep.
called some like blast.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I would like to retcon a thing about my baseball cap.
Okay.
It's one of the ones that has the stupid beer koozies on the side, and those were full of an energy drink, which I have been just inhaling via the little twisty straws that go down to my mouth.
Okay.
And now I will have the team swap out to fresh cans like they're refueling me.
So what I'm going to say, Iori, is I'm going to offer you a trade. You can refresh one of your ticked boosts or turbos if you mark a trouble.
Is the trouble going to be all this caffeine screws me up later?
Basically, building trouble makes you more vulnerable to bigger trouble later, makes the group more vulnerable. But I think a cool way of representing this caffeination here is, you're refreshed, but also over caffeination is a danger. But you're welcome to pass on that.
Yes, I am ticking a trouble.
Cool.
Complications are fun.
They are very fun. So it's it's a little bit of a ways over to the portal that'll get you to Gigazoo, and it's pretty populated, so it's going to be hard to make up more time there. So you can just walk and eat, and you get to the portal to Gigazoo, and it opens up, and you kind of the dimensional fabric is pretty thick, so you can't see a lot through the portal. You do know it's clear that there's like asphalt, concrete floor right beyond you, so you're not going to like fall 100 feet or anything. But when you step in, you realize that you are on a half collapsed highway, and at the edge of the highway, before it kind of falls several dozen feet, there is in fact a salvage crab. Salvage crabs are a creature from Slugblaster. These are giant hermit crabs that have salvaged pieces from the ruins of human civilization on the world of Gigazoo, because Gigazoo is a world where human civilization collapsed because all the animals got super gigantosized. And so there is a 10-foot tall crab in the hermit crab style, except instead of a shell, it has half of an F-16. And its eye stalks turn toward you, and we're going to go on break.
Okay, that's a hell of a place to break.
Exciting. I love this.
Yeah, so we're going to take a break to refresh ourselves, so that we can bring you more wonderful fun with Slugblaster. And as a reminder, a break for us is a break for you. So please do what you need to take care of yourself. Drink some water or another good beverage, use the restroom, stretch, move around, check in with whoever you need to check in, maybe give your eyes a break if you need to. And we will be back with more Slugblaster in just a few minutes. See ya. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our special one-shot of Slugblaster, a game by Mikey Hamm with some of the strange friends for Speculate here at twitch.tv/ArvinElleron. I am your Slugmaster, Mike Underwood, and we just left our Slugblasters having stepped into the dimension of Gigazoo with giant animals and the ruins of human civilization when the group realized they were on a high overpass that has kind of crumbled and fallen in front of them, but just at the edge of the overpass before it falls, there is a salvage crab, which is about a 10-foot tall version of a hermit crab that has, the big eye stalks, and instead of like a shell for its moving home, it has the front 2/3 of an F-16. You can see that F-16 has like layers of salt and like bleaching and like seaweed, and so it stands to reason that this F-16 actually crashed into the ocean, and then the salvage crab grabbed it to be its home. But you do see that there appear to be missiles loaded into the wing, and that might be a problem because the salvage crab has turned its big eye stalks on you. And it is about 100 feet away.
Brandon, you're muted.
Is this the part where I get to qualify a thing about my zero beam ray gun?
This could be. What do you think? What is special about your ray gun?
I think the zero beam quality of my ray gun is specifically that when it successfully hits something, that thing doesn't cease to exist so much as it has been revealed to have never truly existed.
Interesting.
So I'm going to make the case that I very slowly and carefully attempt to aim for one of those missiles from this distance with the hope of just not making it a problem anymore.
Okay, so you're trying to zero beam the missile specifically. Okay.
The crab I'm fine with. I think it's rad. I think it should be allowed to exist. The F-16 should not be allowed to exist, however.
Okay. So if you succeed, does the whole F-16 go away or just the missile?
Just the missile.
Okay. I think that is much more likely to be a thing. I think to zero out the whole F-16 would probably take some additional effect via turbos.
So I'm just going to be rolling one die because I have no more attitude. Yeah.
Okay. What does that come up?
Okay, I rolled a 4. I succeed, but there's a problem.
So yeah, you whip out your ray gun, and the zero beam goes forward to the missile, which kind of flashes several different colors as if it were like a special effect from like the 1960s era Batman TV show, and just kind of fades out of existence. However, because you got a 4, the zero beam is both loud and very bright. And what that is going to do is it's going to draw the attention of some giant flies that are each about, they're probably the size of a pony. And there's 3 of them over there coming at you from the west. They're not an immediate problem, but they will be a problem soon. the kind of the crab faints back and forth and go.
You should make a buzz clock. Buzz.
I should make a buzz clock. U-Z-Z. So that's B-U-Z-Z. So that's a 4 o'clock. Does this actually apply across? No. So I'm going to put it in my GM section. So you might be able to outrun these giant flies. But the other thing that you realize is the gate that will get you to Athrena is most easily reached from the other side of that overpass. So you either have to jump like a big 30-foot gap, or you're going to need to find another way to like get down from this overpass, or take some other route through the ruins of this city in Gigazoo.
What are the capacities of our boards? Because they're essentially hoverboards, but like how hovery are they?
I will say making that jump is possible. It's going to be hard. It would be easier if you could find something to ramp off of. But making that jump will be trickier while that crab is still there. Unless you can like ramp off the crab, which maybe you could, but it's very dangerous.
No, yeah, like that was my immediate question. What if we just ramped off the crab?
Okay. That would be really
my
cool.
alternate crab trick would be like a hippie jump, which is like I let my board go under the crab and I literally just jump onto the crab and run across it and then jump back down onto my board.
That would be very cool.
That's not going to get me across the gap. So.
It's not. It won't really build you up any speed. But behind you, because there's no longer a portal behind you, you'd have to reopen it. There is a basically an off, or it's an on ramp, like coming up onto the road. But that's going to lose you some time if you go back that way.
Am I the only one with a grappling hook here?
Mm-hmm.
I think you are.
Okay. Because I'm wondering if, like, I can use my wings to help propel my jump across the gap and then use the grappling hook as a tow line to get you two through.
Oh, that's very cool.
It would definitely work.
I think if you make the jump, you could then basically give a free turbo to both of your companions, which means that they would only basically need normal success to jump the gap. Because I think to jump the gap normally, you would need at least one turbo on top of your normal roll. But first, you got to get across.
What if we want to like use the pony flies as like stepping stones? Because that would be hilarious.
Yes.
I mean, you can wait for the flies to come. They are a little ways off, and it would again cost you time.
Flies are unreliable. Let's just do the other thing.
Okay. Cool. So.
This is a guts move, just because like. There's so many ways that we could get very, very hurt here.
Oh, absolutely.
But also, one of the reasons that party size is the guts is because party size has a carapace and therefore doesn't really have a great idea of what consequences are, having experienced so few of them.
Yeah, you really don't get like road rash in the way that the humans do.
Something that has worked in my favor a great deal of the time.
Cool.
Let's see. And I think I am going to stunt into the jump. Like, right before I unfurl my wings, there will have to be a fancy little board grab.
Absolutely.
With a sassy little wiggle.
Okay. So you get +1d anytime you try to look cool. And then... Are you going to mark a turbo for kind of the extra effect?
Yes. So that gives me a total of how many dice?
So turbo is for effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have the +1 from show off, 1 from normal. So you have 2 dice right now, unless there's somebody else going to give a boost. You can use a boost for yourself.
I would like to use a boost for myself.
Okay, yeah, just mark the box from one of those dice, and then you'll be rolling 3 dice with a boost with a turbo.
Okay. We are rolling 3. That's a 5, a 6, and a 2.
Cool. So on a 6, you do it with no consequence. Go ahead and mark a style for your cool trick.
Yeah.
And now for Teddy and for Leah, you do not have to spend a turbo to get across. You just have to make a normal success.
Can I still do the hippie jump? Do I need to do it? Not anymore.
I mean,
to get past the crab.
You can do it as just kind of the fictional explanation. I think the consequences there are going to be more about the crab than the jump.
Okay. I'm doing my roll, and I get my +1d for this also.
Yeah, you always roll with at least 2 dice.
Yep. Here we go. That's a 2 and a 3. Oh no.
Okay.
The crab got me.
Yeah. So I think you kind of board up, and you like the crab's one claw is down, so you step on and start running, but then the other claw reaches out and grabs you around the middle. And so your board is just going forward, and it's going to go over unless somebody does something, and you've been grabbed by a crab. So that's 2 problems, but you could nope either of those.
I feel like I would rather weirdly nope the board, probably, because if I lose my board, I'm going to be in huge trouble. So I spend trouble to nope the...
Yeah, so take
2 trouble.
Add 2 trouble, and tell us how it is that your board doesn't go over the side.
Okay, so like it hits one of the legs of the crab.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, it just I had it aimed appropriately initially. However, because the crab just happened to move, like in moving to grab me with its other claw, it also moved a leg that my board hit it, so it didn't go over the edge.
Okay. Yeah, so your board is fine. It can be recovered. You're not going to have to go all the way down to the surface level. But you are approximately, let's say, like 4 feet away from the giant eye stalks of the crab that are just looking up at you with glassy eyes, and the other claws going.
Hey, I want to save Leah.
Okay, how do you do that?
I'm gonna do a 900 off the other claw.
Okay.
So I can grab Leah and then activate my sneakers to make Leah briefly intangible.
Oh yeah, cool.
Phasing through the crab.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I'll take an extra die for that alone. Please work. Hey, a 5 and a 3. I succeed, but there is a problem.
Yeah, so
Probably I would say Leah takes damage. That would be my obvious thought of problem, because she's being tugged out of a crab.
Yeah, I think so. You do the 900. You get Leah free, but like she passes through the claw, but the outside edge of the claw is kind of jagged and chitinous as well, and so Leah kind of phases back into reality and then gets cut across the back by that outside edge of the claw as the crab is kind of flailing at you. And so Leah, you're going to take the slam wounded. which I think is probably going to last through the end of this job. Now, this could also be noped, but that's just going to keep building trouble because the two of you have not gotten across the gap yourselves.
I'll just, once we are over the gap, I will take care of that wound.
Okay. So you have gotten out of the clutches, and I'm guessing you're like up on the F-16 now. Is that I think how this is working. There is absolutely a skeleton in the cockpit still. And the crab is now turning, trying to figure out how it's going to like claw at you. And the 2/3 of an F-16 is like a little wobbly because it's not an especially flush shell.
I'm going to slide down that puppy to try to get my board back.
Okay. Are you good? Is that going directly into a jump or just to get the board?
It's just to get, I can't jump if I don't have a board.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're in just in a rough spot. So this probably is going to take a roll on its own.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, gonna, I guess just slide on my butt and see how that goes.
Okay.
Literally just gonna drop and do it like a playground slide. Here we go.
That does seem like the chill way to do it.
Yeah, it's just taking it easy. That's a 3 and a 2. I fail again. I guess the thing rolls and I fly up into the air instead of sliding to the ground.
So yeah, ouch. I think so there's an upside and a downside because I do want to keep things moving. The upside is that you're able to grab the board. The downside is because you get kind of shuffled and knocked off of the back of the F-16 and are left holding on to the edge of the kind of cracked and shattered overpass. And there is a lot of nothing below you.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Grappling hook, save me.
Yeah, party size. The humans are not doing great.
Help.
Humans are super not doing great. Is Leah in a distance where she can catch my grappling hook? Or am I going to have to actually turn around?
I think you can, if you can succeed on a roll, you can get her the grappling hook that she could then swing on if you find a way to anchor the grappling hook somewhere. Because I don't know, like
it's on my belt,
right?
So yeah,
you might need.
Maybe there's like a light pole or something like that. Like if it's an overpass, then some kind of light pole seems like a possibility. And all you have to do is just kind of like circle around it. The thing can still be on your belt, but
yeah. I am going to do that. And in the meantime, I am also setting my photonic jacket into like a grayish concrete pattern so that I'm blending into the scenery just in case.
Oh yeah, that's a good reminder. I think the buzz track has definitely advanced once in the time that has passed.
Yeah, I thought so.
So yeah, if party size is rolling at this point, basically it seems like the thing to do is shoot the grappling hook so that Leah can like reach out and grab it.
Yes, that is what I intend to do. Is that going to be 1 die?
So it's 1 die as a base. You could spend any of your boosts to add a die. You do not need any turbos to pull this off. But if you did add a turbo and succeed, there would be some other kind of benefit.
Can I stunt to add a dice?
Yeah, how do you show off while you do this?
Okay. Oh, God. zip past the pole, whip back around it to coil the string or the rope of my grappling hook around it, pose with the pole behind my base spine, like wings out, and then like with my wings, I am doing the Let's Dance Boys routine from Bayonetta.
Okay. So you're doing a dancing grappling hook gun kata kind of thing. That's brilliant and silly. Go ahead and take that +1 die for showing off.
All right. So we have 2 dice total. 3 and a 6.
Okay, great. So the camera loves you. We get the kind of fireworks as some old kind of munitions go off. No, actually, that is there's people on those flies. That's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. So there's fireworks around you. They were actually trying to blow you up, party size. That's maybe something you need to deal with. But it does look incredibly cool. Make sure to mark style if you haven't.
Yeah, it makes me look extra rad.
And you are able to shoot the grappling hook just so that Leah, you can reach out, grab it, and while holding your board, swing over and climb up to get to the other side, leaving just Teddy on the near side with the salvage crab and the F-16. But because Brandon is attending to a thing right now, I think we will briefly cut away to another part of Gigazoo where the Two Hive crew are picking their way through through and around a collapsed office building that has it broke in the middle and kind of fell 48 degrees onto another building, and they are climbing/hiking up this building, where we kind of zoom in, and Ali is saying, so if my calculations are correct, there is a portal to Athrena on the 17th floor of that building over there. And Frenchie is handling the ropes and trying to keep everybody safe. Finale is basically doing a model walk, but at a 48-degree angle up the side of a building, and has a speaker that is basically playing some voguing music. So that is a quick preview of what your rivals are up to. And now we will jump back to the collapsed overpass with the salvage crab, where Party Size has just managed to get a grappling hook to Leah, and she's climbed up to their side, and now only Teddy remains on the near side with the salvage crab. Teddy, what are you going to do?
So, how far am I from where my friends are?
So the gap is about 30 feet wide.
Okay.
And I think right now the biggest dangers to you are the F-16 falling off the crab, or the crab figuring out how to basically shake you off so that it can come and get you.
Okay. I'm gonna do a dumb thing. I would like to know whether I can see the lock that is holding the eject mechanism on the cockpit of the F-16.
Eject. Interesting. Yes. I think so. The easiest way would be to get into the cockpit. But do you think that you would be able to find or create or hack yourself some other way of making it eject? So Valerie, for your camera, I would say maybe hold a hand up next to your face, or maybe do what you've just done there, hopefully, as we deal with technology problems. Yeah, and so like I think this is the other thing that I do, and then pull it back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and keep pulling it back. Okay, that's a bummer. So we are getting Valerie slightly through a dimensional distortion.
Soft focus, Valerie.
That is a bummer, but we will carry on. Yeah, so sorry for the interruption, Teddy. How are you going to make the cockpit eject?
Aha, okay. So here's more stupid things, because for someone who's very smart, Teddy loves thinking of silly ideas. I I am going to jack in my space-time ampimeter to my ray gun, a thing that is not supposed to be able to happen,
Ooh,
with
tricky.
the specific goal of firing a fine zero beam in the general vicinity of where the eject button would launch.
Okay, that's some technobabble ridiculousness. So I'm going to say that to make this work, you're basically going to have to... this is already a stunt, and so you're going to get greater effect if you succeed, but there's going to be a greater consequence if you don't. And that probably will have something to do with all of this tech that you're trying to make work with each other that wasn't designed to do so.
Okay. Cool. So, roll one dice.
Yeah, I guess.
4 or 5 would not be good right now.
Really, really looking for a 6.
8, 4.
Okay, so first you should mark one style when you try to look cool with a creative approach because of your lateral thinking. So what I'm going to say is that it works, but you're going to take 2 trouble because
that works for me.
It is an absolutely terrifying ride, and I'm going to mark the buzz track again. So that is XX. So we are at XXZZ. From this instance, you can see that there are, in fact, people riding on these giant flies, and they have spears, and one of them has like it looks like a rocket launcher, but it's actually just shooting fireworks. And it's at that point that you realize that these folks must be members of... what did I name this group? A faction called the Shredders, who are survivalists from other dimensions that are trying to recolonize Gigazoo. So not the humans from this dimension, people who have decided this is where we want to live. But eventually, kind of riding back down on the parachute. So Teddy, are you riding the parachute down with a skeleton?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
A part of me is like, if I were a different kind of person, this would be very metal. But I can't help thinking, this guy was a servant of the military-industrial complex, and therefore probably sucked. And I don't want to spend a lot of time being in his presence.
Yeah, and like... just how weird of an end this must have been, because there's a very good chance that this person died in a fight against some kind of gigantic animal.
Yeah. A megafauna that was just living its life
Yep.
and you thought it was fit to just like hit it with a rocket, and now you're dead, and you kind of deserve it. And I'm just only here so I can get on the other side of this canyon, and I'll never care about you again.
Yeah, so actually, Teddy, why don't you give me a trouble roll as you are parachuting down to see if more trouble finds you. If it doesn't, you will land close enough to the others that you can just pick up from there. So it's going to be rolling
so
one die,
roll
and you want to get a 3 or
1d6.
more because you have 2 trouble.
I got a 4.
Okay. Then, yeah, so Leah and Party Size, you see Teddy get shot just like impossibly high up into the air. And then, I don't know, like 30 seconds later, you start being able to see the parachute coming down. And, you know, Leah, you have time to do all the math to like pull on things and make it so that you land on the other side of that, of the overpass. But I think it takes long enough that those shredders are getting closer and closer as the buzz clock is now at 3 of 4.
Oh.
But the way in front of you is open.
Can I get video of Teddy coming down in the parachute?
Absolutely.
That is pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
So I want to say, let's say that is 1 extra style for you and 1 extra style for Teddy.
Nice.
Okay.
I would like to make an argument for a thing.
Sure, what's up?
My space-time ampimeter is still attached to my ray gun.
Yes.
Can't I just shoot a portal to our destination?
That sounds like something you'd roll about.
I'm going to theoretically argue as well that my Rift Ninja sneakers being capable of phasing through matter technically have the capability of amplifying or otherwise engaging with the ability to pass through thin space to another dimension, and as a result I'm actually going to activate them as well.
Okay.
So that's 1 die,
I think,
with extra effect.
Yeah, I think you're going to need at least 1 turbo to be able to pull this off in a single roll.
5.
Okay. So on a 5, you do it. Here's the problem, Teddy. It's just you. You teleport yourself to Athrena, but you don't open a portal that the others can go through.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So you feel yourself phasing through reality, but you realize that Leah and Party Size are not phasing with you, and there is not a portal opening. How do you stop or re-engineer whatever it is that you're doing so that you don't get stuck alone? You will still get to open the portal because you got a success. You just have to... The nope means that now everybody's going to get to go because you're paying to cancel a consequence.
I think what it is when I realize that the portal is closing, I stop at the literal edge of the portal and fire my ray gun again at like the event horizon of the portal to kind of disrupt the energy from fading, and that just kind of accidentally triggers a very brief loop with which the rest of the group can enter, and the very first thing that I do when I see that it's still open is that I grab Leah by the forearm and drag her in.
Okay, so you were able to get all three of you through the portal, and looking back as the portal collapses, you see three shredders like swooping down on their giant flies with the like zillion segmented eyes, and they've got spears with like scraps of cloth on them. One of them has like old kind of moldy like American football shoulder pads on, like very Mad Max vibes for the three of them. And the one with the rocket fires it explodes on the other side of the portal, and all that spins through is just a little bit of, it's almost like, what if a rocket propelled grenade shot sparkler sticks, and one sparkler stick has come through and is kind of throwing off sparkler light as you find yourself on the streets of Athrena. It is nighttime in Athrena. This is a like retro-futuristic Grecian kind of megalopolis. And so the city goes up and up and up, and you know that if you get to the edge of this kind of quote-unquote island, you will see down, because all of the cities in Athrena are floating about a half a mile above the ground. And in a lot of places, it's not so much ground as there is ocean down there. But this is a very heavily populated world. And so you find yourselves on the street, and then all around you are people in a wide variety of kind of like synth plastic, multi-dimensional fiber togas and chitons and various outfits, and people have their hair like tied up and back with all those cool cords and things, but a lot of the cords are like they're like neon as opposed to like being more traditional material. And so this whole place is like is a little bit Greek cyberpunk. Or like cyber pop style. Like whether there is punk here, that's really more up to you than the people who live here. And so, go ahead.
So do we know where we're going from where we landed?
So you are getting to Dorus Kal's party, and you have, you basically have a location on a map, but I think this world is densely populated enough that just having like a city map and a location is not necessarily going to be precise enough. And navigating to get there is probably your last big obstacle because there is so much going on in the city. And not everybody likes Slugblasters here in Athrena. So what is your approach? Are you hailing a grav chariot? Are you going to try and take like the serpent train?
So I open my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna qualify that the version of Uber that exists in Athrena is called Apollo, because of course it is.
Sure.
And I'm going to hail a cab through this app and pay for it with my parents' credit card.
Ooh, tricky. I think the push your luck element here is really more important than the can you call the cab element. And so, Brandon, I would like you to make another trouble roll. And I think the trouble here, if you get a 4 or less, is that you're going to hear about this from your parents.
Yeah, I could deal with that. Ooh, a 6. I guess I don't have to deal with it. My parents are loaded. They don't care.
Wow, that's
they will not even notice.
Extremely cool. So, I would love if anybody has ideas or suggestions of what an anti-grav Uber chariot in Athrena looks like.
I think it looks like a tradition.
So, like, with a 6, our driver's cool, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, cool as in, will let me sketch off the back of this chariot as we go.
Make sure to tag this chariot. The plate number is on the back, and then the social tag is just above it.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, works for me. So I think like the physical description of this is it looks like an ordinary chariot, but instead of being uncovered like a traditional Greek chariot, it's covered somewhere between like a very ornate Western stagecoach and a large white box. But it's just like gold and neon trimming all across the edges. And instead of wooden wheels, it's just like 4 maglev propellers where the wheels would be. And like it's being propelled by, well, there is a holographic horse at the head of the chariot. Obviously. The holographic horse does nothing. It's just for decoration.
Well, as we've established, clearly this driver cares about style, and this is I think this is Aeolus is the name of the driver. So you get his name, and he's like, you're Slugblasters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What world are you from? Are you from Casket or Jonas?
We're actually from Prime.
Prime?
Terra? I don't know what everybody else calls
Prime.
it. Sorry, was that everybody says they're from Prime?
2/3 of us are from Prime.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, the coolest one among us is not from Prime, which tells you a lot about Prime.
Oh yeah, like so what is the name of party sizes people culturally or whatever other indicator? What word would Aeolus use to describe its people?
Like, Earth people have an awful lot of weird slurs about bug people, which is unfortunate. The respectful term for them is probably along the lines of insectizillas. And party size is from a world that calls itself Master Shell, but because it is party size, people tend to assume that they're from Gigazoo.
Sure. And so Aeolus is like, do you come from Master Shell, or you move?
Oh, I'm living in Prime now. Better sponsorship opportunities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I guess it's, maybe easier to stand out with with the 6 stunts because there's like added difference because of like scale and things. That's pretty cool. I was thinking about maybe transferring to the Master Shell Dispatch, maybe try to see a little bit more of the dimensions, maybe send some money back home. Rent in the city is just absolute murder. I might as well be like sacrificing a goat or a bull every month.
You should totally go to Master Shell. You have thumbs. You're going to make such a good salary with thumbs.
No kidding. Do you know anybody who like works in transit or like does like real estate at Master Shell?
Yeah, my mom's an agent. Hang on. And Party Size is digging through their fur coat to find mom's business card.
Okay. And you're doing all of this like while
sketching.
Sketching on the back. Beautiful. So it may be, I don't know if Party Size, if it's you or if it's one of the others that recognize Finale basically hanging herself out of the window of another hover carriage about 100 feet off to your right as two kind of sky lanes are merging.
Oh no.
And so yeah, Finale is like 3/4 of the way out of a side window doing like this upside down and like taking a selfie as Frenchie is like holding her legs. And then I think Finale like catches your eye, Party Size, and it like gives you a wave from upside down.
Okay, what if I wave at Frenchie? Can I get Frenchie to drop Finale?
Oh, that's terrible. I love it. You can make a roll. I think you
Blow a kiss.
I think you will need a turbo to
Blow a
get
kiss,
to
yes.
get him to actually drop her. Without a turbo, I think you would distract him and that might slow them down, but not as much as if they have to go and dive and rescue Finale.
Yeah, let me see how much I have left because I do have, I think I have both my turbos, right?
Yeah, looks like you do.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a turbo. I actually I don't want Finale to like die,
Sure,
but
yeah.
also I want to win. This is one of those like I trust in Finale's ability to pivot.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna blow. It's gonna be like double kiss, like, and I know that Frenchie is inclined to repeat gestures that they see. So, all right. 2 dice. Boom. Oh, it's a 2 and a 3.
Okay.
No.
A 2 and a 3. So I think when with that, you blow the kisses, and I think between that and the discussion about Master Shell and Party Size, I think none of you notice as the Hyper Hydra pulls up in a chariot next to you, and 4 different kind of dragon serpent heads kind of slip out of the side and start talking to you at 4-year-old having eaten pixie sticks speed. Hey, how's it going? Are you all from Prime? What's going on? Are you going to the party? I heard the party's really great. And this Hyper Hydra's car is getting so close to you that Aeolus is having to like swerve out of the way, and you all are going to crash into something pretty soon, or you're going to lose time or something.
Do I want to or know how to do this? Okay. I turn to Aeolus and go, don't worry about it. Drive like no one's in the way. And then I'm going to pull the tongue of my Rift Ninja sneakers to reveal a very long USB cable, um, which I will plug into the aux cord of this chariot, and then I will turn them on.
So a nice thing about interdimensional travel is that somebody at some point, honestly, from a non-capitalist dimension, realizes that interdimensional port standards are an amazing idea. And so this works.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna roll with one kick and one die. 4.
All right. And so what you are trying to accomplish what with this this connection?
My goal is twofold, but I'll take either one that I can get.
Okay.
1, I don't want to crash, and 2, I want the act of this chariot phasing through finale to freak out their entire crew.
Okay. I think you can get away from the Hyperhydra, but you can't also mess with the 2 Hive crew on a 4. And I think with a 4, you leave the Hyperhydra behind because you're not engaging with the Hyperhydra as you kind of pull away. Anybody who's looking back and kind of our cinematic camera theater of the mind turns back around. The thing with Hyperhydras is that if you ignore them, they get more heads. And so another cluster of heads pops out the other side, and like one of them is like using the whole head to like try to wave and be like, hey, I'm sorry, did you not hear me? Do you know where the party is? But you're able to leave them behind. And the actual trick here is that you kind of go through a few more streets and you get to what is effectively the Athrena version of like the Hollywood Hills, where everything gets more spaced out, but then the roads get narrower and you're no longer allowed to fly. So you have to return to street level, and there's a bunch of switchbacks and the streets get much narrower, going all the way up to Dorus Kal's estate. And so at this point, you can either stay in the carriage and hope that, you know, traffic is on your side. You can get out of the carriage and try to like go up on foot, like going through people's backyards and estates and things, or something else like that. But getting kind of to the bottom of the hills, you can already hear the party from the top of the hill. It is that banging.
We are at the top of the hill, you say?
You are at the bottom of the hill, but from the top, you can already hear the music from the party.
Drat.
And I think you see the 2 Hive crew. They are basically a block over, and they are going to try and go up on street level. So you might beat them if you take the street level route with Aeolus, or you might want to try to do something else to get ahead of them. Also, somebody should roll me a d6 to see how fresh the pizza is.
I vote not me. I just keep rolling 2s and 3s.
Let's see. So we have 2 trouble. So your average trouble is 3. So whatever this roll is, you want it to be 4 or more.
4.
Okay. A quick look at the pizza reveals that it is still polygonal. Still fresh, still hot.
Good.
Do you still have the parachute?
I do. But I don't think it will help us go up.
We just need some sort of air current source of some kind.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pondering.
Do you think that's something that...
Which way do I need to face and flap my wings to generate the current?
Well, it'd take a lot of current to carry the three of you up on a parachute, right?
Although if this is like a
super
sky
caffeinated.
world
I
already,
have the straws leading from my hat drinks into my mouth.
the caffeine, it works for us.
I mean, who am I to say how powerful the kind of wing flapping capabilities of party size are? It may be that I'm thoroughly underestimating their capabilities. I think it will take at least one turbo to get the three of you aloft.
I am happy to spend my turbo on that.
Okay. Is anybody in a situation to give a boost here?
That seems to be my last one.
Trying to
I
think
have
like
nothing left.
I can store any amount of objects smaller than a person. Can that include a fan? It's smaller than a person.
Roll to see if you happen to have a common object in there.
Okay. It's just gonna be like a not a desk fan, but like a pedestal fan kind of thing.
A standing fan has to be technically smaller than a person.
Yeah.
It's
It
smaller
is.
than me.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my Voidware backpack then, and I'm rolling. Here we go. That's a epic fail. What?
So
a
what
1 and a 1.
You open the backpack, and what you see is a little basically keychain fan, and there is a note from one of your siblings saying, "Had to borrow the fan, sorry."
Yo, rude. Oh,
But it's like, "Had to borrow the fan, sorry." Besos.
that is not cool.
So you may have to take that up with whichever sibling that was when you get home.
Oh, it was Tito. He's always taking my stuff.
So you don't have a bonus fan, but I believe in party size because it's funnier if party size can get the three of you aloft to then like parasail.
Party size is also going to stunt its way up to this.
Okay, what's that look like?
Like, from the sketch, holding on to the back of the chariot, party size swings their body forward to kick off the back of the chariot and basically double jump themselves into the air.
Okay, and so how is everybody holding on to one another for this?
Team, how are you clinging to me? Is this like one of those old-fashioned posters where you're each like one of you on each leg?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sounds good. Or we're each grabbing like one side of your board, basically. So instead of your leg, we're grabbing the board, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus, party size has the photonic jacket, right?
Yes.
Oh, it can roll to absorb and redistribute energy.
Oh, yes, I would like to do that.
Okay. Now this all makes sense. Because the photonic jacket is able to redistribute energy that is like magnified or supplemented by the wings, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Give me that roll.
Okay, so that brings me up to what? 2 dice plus a turbo?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. No! That's a 2 and a 3.
Okay, yikes.
The dice have failed me.
So here's the thing. You take off, you go, whoosh, the parachute kind of billows full, you go up and you start catching wind, and then there's like a quick shift and there's a gust, and it's so strong that, well, here's a question. Who's holding on to the pizza?
I feel like it's actually, I think I would have put it in my backpack, actually, for safety.
In the Voidware backpack.
Is that
No,
a bad idea?
No, I think that's totally fine. The problem then is that the wind tears the backpack off and sends it flying.
No, my
Now,
backpack.
This is something you could nope, but that's gonna stack up the trouble in a big way.
Oh, but we're almost to the end.
You are almost to the end.
I have trouble to spare. It's only 2 trouble to nope, right?
Okay.
Yep.
In that case,
I'll nope it.
Nope it and grappling hook it.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
going to nope and grapple.
Love the nope and grapple. Okay. So yeah, it gets ripped off. There's like, but then party size, ever cool, always gutsy. Turn, grapple hook. The hook, as we've learned, party size is a dead shot with a grapple hook. One of the metal hooks loops around the strap of the backpack, and you're able to reel it back in, pizza intact. On the wind here, you're up. There's thermals. You can see all of these fancy like Neo-Grecian kind of palatial estates. There's columns with ever-burning fires. There's hologram amphitheaters in people's backyards. And then at the top of the hill is Dorus Kal's. It's like, what if a house was a coliseum, but with like a hard light dome roof? And the dome roof is open, but you see the hard light projectors, and y'all are Slugblasters, so you know the score. And you get high enough that you can see that the entire kind of Coliseum slope area is just full of revelers, and there's like demolition derby, but also there are horses there. But it seems like it's mostly actually pretty safe because they're using like future nerf for like some kind of cool race melee thing in the middle of the party there, and that looks incredibly cool. But you are so up in the air now that it's going to take you some time to land. And from your vantage point, you can see the 2 Hive Crew's car pulling up. So you're going to need to get down faster if you're going to get to Dorus Kal.
I need one of you to take the pizzas and like let go of me and drop in as stylishly as fucking possible. Who's it going to be?
Which take of you that can bullet, stick
I
this?
Guess. Yeah, which of you can stick this landing without getting hurt?
Because you have a holographic board, which I feel like implies that you can do kind of more
you can probably
serious
catch
trick
yourself.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you can do the math.
Yes.
To plot yourself a path down, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm doing. So I have nothing left but my 1 die.
Does anybody have any boosts or kicks that they can add?
I have 1 turbo left, and that's all I got.
Okay. Well, bonus effect would certainly help here. And this would be, is this something from your backpack?
I am going to pull out a flashlight and use it like a spotlight.
Oh, great. Yeah.
It's like, check out my friends coming in hot with the pizza.
Nice.
Literally delivering the pizza from the sky on a parachute. Everyone's going to be looking at us. Nobody's even going to care that the 2 Hive Crew have arrived, because it doesn't matter, because we're much cooler.
Excellent. And I'm going to say a 4. Okay. And your thing. Smart.
Yeah, I have to roll to see if I have a common object. So.
Okay.
Unless I don't have to roll because I'm using the thing. Okay.
I think flashlight is incidental enough. Like, you're spending the resource for effect here, so I don't think that requires its own roll at this point. So on a 4. So here's the question that I asked Teddy. Does the pizza get messed up, or do you get an absolutely wicked road rash as you land hard after pulling cool tricks.
Oh no, yeah, the road rash is the goal.
Okay.
Because specifically, I want to say exactly what happens when I land, if that works.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm getting absolutely beaten up on the way down. But when I successfully get to the party, I will turn my board and just kind of fall to my knees on the board and just kind of glide into the party until I get to the head table where everybody, where like all of the food is gathered. And I have the Horde in one forearm and the Einstein tile pizza in the other. And I go, behold, and then I pop both of the boxes open with my fingers, and I go, look at this.
Amazing. So I think the music stops, and spotlights you didn't know were there pop on and kind of slash toward the pizzas, and then the Hard Life dome roof appears, and it's a jumbotron zoomed in on like camera close-up of the two pizzas. So they are above you as if they are glorious, delicious, cheese-covered moons, kind of shining light down on the party. And Dorus Kal with kind of like a like very much the type of helmet that Athena is depicted as wearing, on top of like kind of neo mylar chiton that Kal is wearing, with like a cool many wrapped belt thing, comes over, pulls a slice out of the Supreme Horde and holds it up and says, "And now it is truly a party. What is your name, Slugblaster, and who are your crew?"
I'm Teddy Goodwin, and as
we're descending behind
size,
Teddy.
Yeah.
And party size and Leah are descending behind me, I will lift the pizza boxes as if, depending on your perspective, it's as if the pizza boxes will catch them. And I go, I'm Teddy Goodwin, and we're the ultimate party pack.
And the crowd goes absolutely wild. People are shouting. People are taking pictures. They are on every single social site. It's like the more contemporary movies where like tweets and text messages will pop up as like a thing on top of the screen. And so people are asking like, who's the ultimate party pack? Like, oh my God, oh my God, that pizza looks amazing. And as this is erupting, the Two Hive crew are running in, holding their pizza forward. But by the time they get inside, the party has like transformed and become more electric, that no one notices that they're here with pizza. Like somebody takes a slice out of it and starts eating it without looking any of them in the eye. So I think we're gonna kind of montage this a little bit, but I would love to hear from each of you some moment at this party where you are like guests of honor that you get to enjoy, whether that is with the whole group or something on your own. And if you want to add like things that are at the party, please go ahead.
I think one of the things that I'm doing, like after I've already like, because I feel like part of what we do is when we all like finally land at the party, we do just kind of hang out and drink and like play games and stuff by ourselves. One of the things that I definitely do is I am at the food table with a group of like high school math Olympiad students, breaking down the Einstein tile pizza to them while they're in absolute awe.
Very cool. All right. what other moments do we see with Leah and or party size?
Party size has reset its photonic jacket to display pictures of other partygoers so that they can move through the crowd very unobtrusively, leaving Ultimate Party Pack stickers on columns.
Oh, nice.
Just quietly tagging their way through this party.
Excellent. All right. And what is the chill up to?
So Leah has like her speaker starts a little bit of a song, but also she just straight up starts a drum circle with whatever random crap is lying around.
Oh, yeah.
And so somebody's playing a box, somebody's playing like an empty, you know, bottle of whatever. And so yeah, just starting up an improv music arena, having a good time. You know how it is.
Fantastic. So you should all mark 2 additional style for getting the pizza there first, and as a payoff for Teddy's gambit in getting not just the Horde that is expected, but this cool specialty pizza. But here's the thing. Getting home, you don't necessarily always get to take the same route that you took to get where you're going. So I'm going to need each character to make a trouble roll, and this will describe our montage of getting home.
I'll start first, I guess.
Is that just 1 dice from each of us?
Yeah, 1 die for each, and for your character, you are trying to roll higher than the number of boxes of trouble you have ticked.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. So we've got one trouble or 1 disaster. What about the others?
I rolled a 1.
4.
Okay.
I'm the only one that gets home safely.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so I think to get back, you do have to go back through Megazoo. And unfortunately, on your trip through Megazoo, you run into the Shredders again as a group. And I think that party size's super cool photonic jacket gets several big rips in it that are going to take a lot of work to repair. And then I think...
And one of you has to do it for me because I have claws, not thumbs.
Yeah, that part's pretty tricky. And Teddy, I think on your way back through Polygon, your multiversal map device just turns into a 2-dimensional disc and does not work anymore. You could probably use it as like a frisbee.
I'm gonna have to see if I can actually read the data of this when I get back home now. I guess I'll just buy a new one. Yeah.
That's tricky. But that is all the trouble that befalls you. And when you all get home, I think Leah has some words to exchange with Tito. But when you arrive at school on Monday, everybody is talking about your delivery of the pizza to Dorus Kal's party. And before the day is out, you have an invitation to one of the most a pool party that like the most popular kids in school are throwing this weekend.
Do we have to bring pizza to that too?
They didn't say it, but yeah.
Yeah.
That should at least be easier because you just have to get to Polygon and back. But I think that is all that I have. But I want to make space for anybody to add a little bit of epilogue for your character if you like. Any bit of home life or something for your character that night or throughout the week.
I know I'm living in like one of your lofts over the garage or a closet or something without your parents knowing. I'm being kept like a secret pet.
Right.
Whose house am I actually in?
Good question.
It's probably mine because
I think
it's not it doesn't require any effort for me to feed you.
I think
without
the
anybody
night might
noticing.
end with us like regrouping back at Teddy's to make sure everyone's in one piece.
Right.
Disinfect each other's road rash and eat those garlic knots together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Teddy sees that somehow Leah has managed to bandage herself with paper towels and duct tape and is deeply horrified by this.
We've all been there.
Okay. Any other?
And all of our sodas are still fizzy.
It's a beautiful, wonderful world, and honestly, a pretty awesome night. So I think as credits roll, we get a like guitar forward rock song that could have been. It's like some of the songs in Sky High where it's new recordings of like kind of teen-ish pop songs from years past. So this is like a 2023 band recording a rock song from like 1999. As we go to credits, and we get the like with like act performer as this character and kind of the montage, and we get the rivals have their own thing, and there's a shot of a Frenchie like waving back to Leah, and there's all of the various characters that we've seen, and that is going to be Slugblaster. This was our first time playing Slugblaster. I definitely think we probably played a bit fast and loose, a little bit of a middle ground between the turbo version and the main version. I realized that for most of the session, I described the get bonus effect thing as a turbo instead of a kick. That's on me. It's all good. We made it work. The terminology in this game is fun. It's just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So now, before we say goodnight, I'm going to ask our lovely players to remind us who you are, where we can find you, and any project that you would like the folks to that are watching or listening to check out. Starting with Valerie.
You can find me online at valerievaldes.com. That is Valdes with an S if you are listening and not seeing how my name is spelled. I've got a novel coming out in August, Where Peace Is Lost, that you can totally grab right now, pre-order it, have it in your, give a present to your future self. And if you want to, you can read a story of mine in Uncanny Magazine. It will be available for free at the beginning of April, but right now, if you buy the issue, you can read it. And, some fantasy fighting hammer time shenanigans.
Sounds like a great recommendation based on today's session. Great. Iori.
Yes. I am Kusano Iori, your favorite gremlin. I have a novella coming out from Hybrid Heart on 28th March. Sorry, from Neon Hemlock, called Hybrid Heart on 28th March. I would be delighted if you wanted to read it. You can find me on Twitter at Iori Kusano and at kusanoiori.com.
Great. Brandon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandon O'Brien. You can find me almost everywhere on the internet at The Rising Tides. I have a newsletter called brandonO'Brien.xyz where you get to hear some of my weirder thoughts. I make games that you can also buy at therisingtides.itch.io. And I wrote a poetry collection called Can You Sign My Tentacle that you can buy wherever you buy your favorite poetry, because I think it's really rad.
Very cool. I am Mike Underwood. I publish as Michael R. Underwood. You can, if you like this kind of wackiness, I would recommend both my urban fantasy series that starts with Geekomancy and the dimension and genre hopping series Genrenauts that starts with the Shootout Solution, or you can get the entire Season 1 collection in paperback or ebook form wherever books are sold. I am at Mike R. Underwood on Twitter. I am one of the co-hosts of Speculate, along with Brandon. I am the dancing master for our series Valorword, playing Court of Blades, that you can find on YouTube, streamed live on Twitch, and at Speculate's website, speculatesf.com/videos, where we have each of our series in a nice organized fashion so that you can watch all of them and enjoy the video series that we do. We have been playing Slugblaster, a game by Mikey Hamm. You can find Mikey at Mikey Maybe on Twitter. You can find Slugblaster at wilkies.itch.io. That's wilkies.itch.io. We used Slugblaster Turbo and a bit of the main game. It is an absolute gorgeous book. I got the ebook, and it made me want to get the physical book immediately. So I want to say shout outs to that book, and thank you to Brandon for suggesting that we play Slugblaster, because I had an absolute ball, and it seems like everybody enjoyed it, and I hope that you all watching and listening enjoyed it as well. Next month, we will have another Strange Friends adventure for you. We'll have more news about that soon. You can keep up with all the Speculate stuff on Twitter at SpeculateSF or on speculatesf.com, and support the show by going to patreon.com/speculate to help us continue to pay our lovely audio editor, Rudy Basso, who does great work for us, as well as helping us build and do other cool shows and find new games and continue to make amazing actual play material for you to enjoy with your eyes and or ears and however else you get your fun. I want to say also thank you to Greg, aka Arvin Elleron, the host of this channel, and I encourage folks, if you're watching on Twitch, to go ahead and give the channel a follow. Check out some of the other things that Arv does here, and if you are watching on YouTube, to follow youtube.com/Arvin Elleron. That, I think, will be all for us tonight, and I want to say thank you again, and happy time zone, good night, and good day.